Morning fellas, Ben back again with Ben 411. There's a lot of videos that I've made on maintenance, and if you still don't get the point of it, then this should be enough proof. This is a 7-year-old machine, still whooping an ass. Just an ass whooper. All that it does is whoop ass all day long. Pitch it against any brand new Himalayan 411, this will whoop its ass. Pitch it against any brand new, I would say, a lot of machines. I've ridden a lot of machines. I know people who ride a lot of machines, and when they ride this fella, they almost always puts a smile on their face. Everybody says unbelievable things about this machine, words of praise. I can, of course, only convey so much from a reel. But keeping all that aside, the importance of maintenance, the importance of proactive maintenance is I can't stress enough. It's the number one thing. It's a game changer. If you know how to swap out parts as and when required, then you always will have a fantastic performing machine. One such thing is the chain and sprockets. The chain and sprockets, I'll just quickly tell you what I have been doing over the last 5-6 years is I replace my rear sprocket every 20,000 kilometers. I replace my front sprocket thrice in 20,000 kilometers, thrice or 4 times in 20,000. Say the front sprocket, keep it to between 5 and 7,000 if you are into spirited riding. Otherwise, everything on a motorcycle is subjective. Everything. The periodic service business, the service manual and all that jazz, all that it says about the machine is not true. It boils down to how you ride, boils down to how much you ride, it boils down to where you ride. That's what it is. It's subjective. You really need to be educated in motorcycling to understand what's good and when it is good. So proactive maintenance. If you're a dirt rider, if your bike is a dirt bike, this is a dirt bike for me, and super high on maintenance. Every little bit I have to check. Every now and then I have to be available for it, to swap out, to repair, to fix, and every single time I head out, I have to be doubly, triply sure about all the components working in sync and being in top-notch condition. So chain and sprockets. The front sprocket is between 5 and 7,500 kilometers for me, the way I ride. The rear sprocket is 15,000 kilometers to 20,000 kilometers. The chain is every 20 to 25,000 kilometers. That's when I swap out my chains. Of course, if you go in with cheap chains, then you'll have to swap out chains. If you're an aggressive rider, then you'll have to swap out chains sooner. But the chain that I throw on the motorcycle is way more, at least 3 times the price of the chain and sprocket kit that comes from the factory. So this bloody chain is 8,000 rupees, and that's expensive, just the chain. Then the sprocket from Sparrow Tech is 3,500, and the front sprocket, which is 480 rupees from Royal Enfield. So yeah, this gets replaced more frequently, way more frequently than that. And this gets replaced too between every 20 to 25,000 kilometers. The rear sprocket, if it's a very good manufactured from a very good manufacturer, then sometimes you can get away by swapping out your chain and front sprocket, but the rear sprocket will still be good enough for the next new chain. But a good practice is to always swap them out as a set, or always swap out the front, swap out the rear when it's wearing out, and then swap out the chain when the chain is starting to form kinks and is already stretched a lot. The adjuster nuts will say the story of the chain. So that's that. Another very crucial thing as far as off-road riding goes is free play. So that's easily 2 inches, almost 2 inches of free play, and that's important. I have a custom-made chain slider here on the bottom so that this chain does not rub on the chassis, and this is the factory chain slider. So just saying that you need to be aware of the free play depending on the ground clearance. I've increased the ground clearance of the motorcycle. The swing arm angle, the pivot has been altered with shorter linkage dog bones, and the YSS shock also has about 5 millimeters, 1.5 centimeters of height adjust. So that's about 1.2 centimeters of height adjust on the shock. Shorter dog bones, and what else have I done? I've also so that kind of gives you that pivot. The angle of pivot is changed. All that's going to add to chain free play, and you'll have to be very careful about chain free play. The size of the rear sprocket also adds to the chain free play. So all that has to be kept in mind when you go about tweaking chains. This chain is a 112 link to accommodate for a 42 tooth front sprocket, rear sprocket, sorry. 112 links. The stock factory Himalayan comes with 110 links. 110 links will not fit on a 40 or a 42 tooth sprocket. 112 will get you till 42. If you want to push it and make a 44 on the rear, then you will have to go in for a 114 link chain. So that's the whole of it. All that business, proactive maintenance business, is what's going to get you a fantastic riding motorcycle. Some other observations, if you, this is definitely going to help. With the new chain and sprocket kit, the way the motorcycle shifts into gears is also going to be seamless. So what I mean by that is, if your chain is starting to kink up and if your chain is starting to, wear out, then, or if you don't have the wheel aligned well, then the friction between the chain and the sprockets is going to cause for erratic shifting. The shifter will not work as pleasantly as it's supposed to. So this business greatly attributed to good condition chain and sprockets. Be aware of all of this. This will go a long way in maintaining the drivetrain of a motorcycle. And so what else? That's about it. Swapped out the chain from RK, gold chain, gold plated or brass plated. Thing will really last a long time, and I'm talking about performance riding business, not some cruising on the highway or doing soft riding. This is talking about serious harsh riding conditions. This chain can take on all kinds of beating. Coupled with a sprocket from Sprockets. Sprockets makes great sprockets, and so fit and finish and everything top notch. Will definitely give you a review after about 1,000 or 2,000 kilometers on the sprocket. But the chain, I know for a fact from experience. I already had this on the motorcycle. This is going to outlast any other chain from the factory or from any other manufacturer. Roll-On is an Indian manufacturer. They make chains, but not even close to what this is. This is made in Japan. XW Ring RK 520. Very, very high quality stuff. The front sprocket is from Royal Enfield, the Himalayan 450 sprocket. I will have to swap that out every now and then, depending on use and wear. So yeah, that's definitely in the cards, swapping out the front sprocket. But everything else is going to be that way. That's the update on the chain and the sprocket and the motorcycle. Arun is a national champion from 10-12 years ago. Oh no, sorry, 15 years ago. And the fellow just rode this bike and was just blown over, like literally blown over. Has words of praise and praise only for this fellow. I give this fellow in the hands of anybody who is into spirited riding. They all have nothing but crazy expressions on their face on how this is still a Himalayan. Any which ways, very happy that it's a great motorcycle that I have now. This helped, it helped. Ben signing out for now. Ciao.